All right, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started on our lab one for chapter 6. A few things on this one. There's quite a bit to do through this chapter, so there will be some pauses and some breaks along the way that I take as we progress from the instructions and then actually implementing it into our website. The main thing that we're going to be doing is using cascading style sheets to query what's called a media query, and what that is we ask or we use the CSS to determine what is the size of the screen, and then we modify the style sheet depending on the size of the screen. So essentially that makes it so that it can change the design, the outlook of your content based on what type of viewport that you're looking at it on, whether it's a mobile phone or a tablet or a desktop. So remember, we've just created it to handle for a mobile phone, right, or a mobile phone right now, and that's the thing is a lot of websites need to have that as their first design, because a lot of people now visit websites on their mobile phone primarily. That's because they're on the go a lot, and a lot of the newer generation now, that's all they use. And then also, here's the thing, is it's also a class system, because people that don't have the ability to pay for a computer, they have the ability to afford a phone. That's something that's out there that everybody is able to implement because it's so necessary. So they will make that choice within their income structure. So a lot of low income individuals will have access to a phone, but they may not have access to a computer. And that's where you get into the responsiveness. Hey, it's responding to different viewports. And then the inclusive part of it, where we are designing it for multiple income and also generational. A lot of people in different generations will want to view your website in different modes: tablets, desktop, or mobile phone. So we're going to be implementing all three. And what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and just begin with our first instruction, and we're going to start with the website that I have here set up. And what we'll do is, let's go ahead and get it started in, let's open it with, you know what, it should by default open with Visual Studio. It does. Okay. So we've got our initial beginning here with our index, and the main thing that we're going to be editing a lot is our CSS file. So that's mostly what we're going to be doing, is working with our CSS file. We will be delving into some of the HTML, but predominantly we're going to be working with this guy right here. So let's just go ahead and get that opened up and then go back to our instructions. There we go. That's the one I want. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to open our style CSS, and we want to add the following comment and the following code. Now I'm going to do something that you probably shouldn't do unless you really know what you're doing, is copy and paste from a screen. The reason being is sometimes there's characters in here you can't see that are injected into your text file that will cause errors. There's ways around it and ways to recognize it as well. So I would suggest typing it out, or if you do have an electronic version, copying it and putting it into Notepad, and paste it into Notepad first. Oh, it looks like we've got some stuff in there. Paste it into Notepad first, and what that'll do is it'll essentially clean it up for you, because Notepad has no capability of getting those Unicode characters that are available in other formats, such as through a website and whatnot. So this is a good way to clean up the code that you copy and paste. So I won't be doing that because I kind of have an idea. You know, it could cause a problem later down the road. I guess that'll be an instructional issue as well. But I highly recommend that you guys copy and paste into Notepad. And if you're doing big chunks, go ahead and do it that way as well. So they want us to essentially, we want to add this as the last style in our document. So we're going to go into our CSS file, and we have our last style in the document, and that's going to be right here. And what we're going to do is just paste that in, and let's talk about this real quick. With the media screen options, this is the way I'm going to style it. Let me go ahead and let's see if I can't zoom in on this a little bit. No, I think that's good enough. You guys should be able to. Well, no, let's go ahead and do a zoom. Control Alt plus, Control Shift plus. There we go. Control Shift plus. Okay, there we go. So what this is doing is it's setting up a CSS media query, and it's asking, hey, what is the screen size? You know, if we, you know, depending on the screen, and if the screen is a print screen and its minimum width is 550 pixels. And what that means is it's essentially, we're detecting that this is a tablet that we're on. And the CSS does it automatically for us with this bit of code: media, screen, associating it with print. The screen is 550 pixels wide, and we're in print mode. Print mode just means, hey, somebody has decided to print our web page. And there are times where you may want to actually have what is sent to the printer look a little bit different than what you see on the screen, and just so it can print easily. And then let's go to our next instruction. Within the tablet media query, so this is a key part here. It says within the tablet media query. We want to add these guys, and so that means that we want it to be inside inside of the actual surrounding media query, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a little bit. For some reason my mouse is not wanting to copy this, so we may have an issue here. Oh, there we go. We're going to copy that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Now this is what I mean by within. It's going to be inside of the media query. Now you want to make sure you tab it in and make it all nice and pretty. And it looks like that didn't copy, so I'm going to have to go back here and figure out what's going on and why you didn't copy. Let's go back here, put it in here, paste. Okay, we're still having problems. Wow, we're right out the gate. We've got issues already. I'm wondering if it may be because of the way it's selecting or whatnot. We may have to actually end up just typing that in, which is okay. Let's try it one more time before we start typing. Okay, we're typing. Alrighty, so let me get into the part in the book that we need to be, and we will begin typing these in. Alright, so we want to put a comment in first. So I'm going to put in our comment code here. And then I always like to finish the comment and then put the stuff in between. Tablet, viewport, show, tab, desk, class, hide, mobile class. And guys, these comments are important because they're, you know, it's really hard to identify what is actually being done here when it comes to some of these queries. So we're going to say anything with a tab desk class, we want to have the display in block mode. Okay, and anything with a mobile class, we want the display to be in none mode. And you guys want a refresher on block and none, go to Google and type in CSS display block and type in CSS display none. That'll give you a little refresher on that. All right, now we've got anything that is a span, and if that span is of the class tab desk, and when I say anything, I'm talking about content here. We want it to have it to be in display in line mode. Okay. Now we notice that that's within the media query, because the media query is what's describing or what's telling us or what's allowing our switch between, hey, are we on a tablet? Or are we on a mobile phone? Mobile phone is our default. Or are we on a desktop? And basically you just consider the three different ones. And you always design your website for a mobile phone first, because that is where the accessibility comes in for different class systems, and then also generationally. So that allows for your diversity as well. And then of course people that go visit your site, they probably will do it on the mobile phone first, and if it doesn't work well, they'll be like, oh, this is a cruddy website, and just leave, because it doesn't have a good design. It's not appropriate. It's out of date, all kinds of stuff. The reasons why they won't take you seriously. I'm sure some of you guys of the younger generation will understand that one of your ways that you determine whether technology is good or not is, hey, does it work well on my phone? Yes or no? Okay, so within the media query, let's go back to our instructions here. So we're going to, within our tablet media query, we're going to add a comment with the tablet viewport styles for the nav area. And we're going to add a style rule for the list, for a list item, that it's going to be the top border to none. And it's going to go a display inline block 1.5 M. 1px solid. Okay, so let's go ahead and try just one more time. Try the copy. Actually, it's not going to work. I think it's probably because this guy is just messed up with the. I think we got to do this. The heck with it. The heck with it. It's driving me insane already. All right, let's go ahead into our code here. So it's going to be in here as well. So within the tablet media query, we're going to add another comment. So it's going to be, and remember to finish it as well. And inside of it, we want it to say tablet viewport. Oops. Viewport style rules for nav area. Okay, now let's do this. We're going to have a selector here. So for the nav li selector, and I think that this will be, I think it's just nav li. So just the nav, a nav with a list item. So we're going to do it kind of like this. Like that right there. So you know what? We can just grab that whole thing and remove the A. So a lot of programming, you'll find that often a lot of it's just copy and paste, because you start getting rolling with something and it just builds on top of itself. So let's go ahead and do this. We don't want the A, and then we'll fix this if we're doing this incorrectly. We want the inline block. We want font size to 1.5 EM. So let's go up and find a font size. Example. Right there. So we want that to be 1.5 EM. Okay, and then we have, we want a color, we want a 1 pixel border property. So I think I can type that one in. If I remember right, it's border, is it border style? I think it's border style. And a right border property. So it's going to be a right border property. So that one, I don't think we have. I don't think we have a right border property. So let's go ahead and let's Google that one. Let's type in, it's probably in your book though. You know, but let's Google it first. And if it's not, I may take a journey to find that. We'll look it up first. Let's go ahead and do a search for right border property, CSS. Border right, okay. Border right, I think we're going to want, yeah, okay, so we're going to want border right 1px. And then we're going to want a special color for it. It looks like we want a 1 pixel solid border that has this color in hexadecimal. E5. It looks like we already got that in our pop-up, doesn't it? Because it looks like we probably already have it applied. Oh no, it's E5, E9. E5, E9, FC. Okay, that takes care of step 3. Okay, add another style rule for the nav selector. So we are now on step 4. So let's go ahead and look at step 4. So we're going to add another style rule for the nav list item selector that uses the last child pseudoclass and removes the right border. Oh, that one's interesting. Guess what, guys? I think we're going to actually, I think I'm going to do a quick pause on this one, because this one is one I'm going to look up in your book and then also Google, and then come back. I'm going to take a little mini water break too, and then come back and we'll discuss it. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay, and we're back. So this one's in your book on page 245 or 247, right around there, guys. So basically, the pseudo class is so that we can detect when, or we can decide that the last child in the list item should look a little bit differently. And so what we're going to do is we're going to implement this sort of thing, but we're going to do it for the whole nav li selection. And it's going to be, you know, we're going to be using last child here. So this is how it's going to look. So let's go ahead and get into our code here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this. And what they said is to have it remove the border. So we're going to have it so that the last child has no border. And that would be step 4 completion. And well, no, because we've got to add another style rule. Let's see, before the style rule you created in step 4. So let's go ahead and go back to our instructions. And what we'll do is, let me see here. We need to go back to our instructions in the lab. Okay. Next page over. We are right here. Below the style rule you created, add another style rule for the nav li selector that sets the top and bottom padding to 0.25 em and the left and right padding to 0.25 em and 0.5 em. Okay. So we're going to do that before the style rule that we just created for the nav li selector. So we're going to go ahead and let's just create this. All right, and now we're going to take this, and it's going to be the bottom padding and the top and bottom padding. Okay, so top, was it for the, it's for the top padding? No, it's for the top and bottom padding and the left and right padding. Let's just go ahead and Google that one. CSS top padding, make sure that we're getting the right syntax. Okay, so it's padding dash top. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. All right, let's go ahead and padding dash top top, and it's going to be I think it was 0.25 em. Let's go ahead, now that we know the syntax, let's look at the instructions again. 0.25 em for the top and bottom padding, and the left and right is 0.5. Okay, so the top and bottom is 0.25 and the left and right is the other one. So we're going to go here, padding bottom 0.25, and then padding left 0.5, and you have to put the 0, guys. It's just appropriate when you're programming. That way we know, that way, well, it's done that way for a lot of reasons. Oh, I forgot the EM, didn't I? Okay, let's throw in the EM. EM, and EM, then another EM. Okay. All right, we're cooking along here. That is going to complete step 5. Now we're going to go into step 6 in the contact HTML file, add mobile to the existing class attribute within the paragraph element in line 37. So we're going to go to the tel-link mobile class. It's on line 37. So Let's see here. Let's do a save all because we don't want to mess things up. And we're going to go into our contact HTML. So I'm going to go back to my folder. I'm going to go to my folder contact. Is that the contact us, I believe, is what I called it. And then it's going to be the tell link right here. So we want this to be a different class. We want to change this. We want to add mobile. Okay, so it's going to be tell link mobile. So it goes to the tell link, but specifically the mobile portion of your CSS. All right, that is step 6 in contact us. Do a save all again. Now we're on to step 8 here. In the styles.css file within the tablet media query. All right, let's bring it up on our in video. Okay, so we're right here. So we're going to put this. It looks like it looks like my copy worked this time. After line 37. So after that line that we just changed. Let me make sure. Let me make sure that we're doing this correctly. Okay, so they want us to inject it into the code after the step 6 that we just did. So they want us to put it right here. Okay, now that's interesting. Well, you know, we may find out when we actually test this, kind of where the instructions are going. Let's go on to step 8, and you know what? I'm gonna do a double check, and we'll come back through and make sure that we fix any errors and discuss it as we progress. I'm gonna look at some other things as soon as we come up to a breakpoint. Okay, so in the style CSS file, okay, so let's go on. We're on step 8. Okay, so we're going to add a new comment. So we're going to be doing for the tablet now. It looks like, oh, we're continuing the tablet, and we want to do it within still. So we're going to go back to our code. We're going to go on our styles. We're still inside of our media tablet CSS style sheet query. And let's see if we can't copy again and have a little fun with this. Okay, it looks like that copied. So that's going to be our comment. And we're going to be modifying the map class selector. So we're going to use .map for the class. We'll look at our style sheet and make sure that we're doing it right. So let's do our comment. Okay. And then let's go up here and make sure that, let's look at our previously done map class. Here it is. Map class. You know what? Let's just grab this guy and copy it. Move it down. Paste it inside of here. So we're going to tell, if it's in tablet mode, we're going to tell it how to behave or how to show our map class differently. So then what we're going to do is, it looks like our width and height are going to need to be changed so that it can we can see it in a tablet a little bit better. So let's look at our instructions again. And it looks like we are going to change. We're just setting width and height to, we're just hard coding in 500 and 450 px. We're not using percentages now. That works. especially if we're doing this with a tablet. Let's go ahead and go into there. So it was, let me make sure of this. It was width of 500 and height of 450. Width of 500 and height of 450. So width of 500 px and height of 450 px. Now we don't need to do this guy because it'll be done by the other selector. We're just modifying what happens in the other selector. It'll still apply the border to it. Okay, and you notice how this is done top down. This is done below. That's because things that you want to happen first, you put above here, guys. Because when this stuff is read by the interpreter that's doing the actual rendering, it starts from the top of your text file and works down. So if you want a particular attribute applied first, boom, it'll hit here, apply the border and the width and height. Then it'll go all the way down here and say, oh, we're in tablet mode. Let's apply width and height. But we're still, the other one is still will happen. It's not like an either or. And that's one reason, you know, why we're doing it below. So that top-down behavior is really important when it comes down to the overall thing that you're doing. All right. Now we're on step 9. Okay, let's look at step 9 here. Below the media query, oh, below, not within, add a new comment. Ah, here we go, guys. Desktop viewport now. Okay, so this, how's this going to look? This is going to look very close to what we've already got for the tablet query. So let's just go up and grab that one. And let's grab this guy too. Oh, this is for the print and tablet viewport. Okay, so this is going to be below it. So it's got to be outside of it. It's no longer going to be within. Okay, so this is going to be screen. Let's see. This is going to be media query for desktop viewport. And then we're going to switch the minimum width. It looks like let's see here. Add a new comment with the text. Okay, we did the comment. Below, add a query that targets the screen with a minimum width of 769 pixels. Okay, and then we're going to start doing some within steps here. And so this is 769. 769. Okay, let's double check that. Okay, if the screen is... No, this one, I don't think we don't want... Okay, so if it has a minimum width, if its width, it can only go as small as 769 pixels, that means that this is a desktop. It's probably not a tablet. It's probably not a phone. And then, so this CSS will be invoked in addition or instead of the other media query. All right. There we go. We've got a good start here. We are on step 10. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to verify from other sources that what we've done so far is correct. And then, you know, if we have any issues, we'll come back and discuss them. And so it's going to be a water break time for me, and I'll be back shortly to continue on. See you in a little while. All right, we're back. Before we continue on to desktop view, I've identified 2 errors. Essentially just missed out on a few things. This So like step 4, there's several errors on that. And what we want is we want this. Essentially, I think some of the instructions here are interestingly stated. I'm sure that you guys have that same thing, but what we want here, and let me just go ahead and throw it in, is we want border top none, border dash top none, and we want the display to be inline dash block. The font size is good, but we want to put the border right here. Border right here is good. Font size is good. So it was just the border top, setting it to none, and this display needing to be inline block instead of block. So that corrects step 4. And the last incorrect step that we made, or I use that we very loosely here, I would be more appropriate. I forgot to put, or I misread it and didn't put the nav list item A in there from the instructions on step 5. So that's how nav list item should look and nav list item A should look. Those are the only 2 steps that we got incorrect for our first start on having a responsive CSS style sheet based on a tablet. Now we're going to go into the desktop one, and let's go for 0 errors on this one, hopefully. Let's continue on with step. Looks to me we are on step 10. So let's go ahead and look at that, step 10. Step 10 says to, within the media query for a desktop, we are going to do a desktop viewer, but it says sets the padding for 2%. So what that means is that this is going to be for a desktop viewport. Now remember, this is going to be inside of the media query. And basically we're going to be setting the header style rule to a padding of 2%. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in my comment. Let's go ahead and fill it out all the way first. Get the comment blocked out first, then fill inside. That's a good habits to get into, because sometimes I will forget to end the comment, and depending on what kind of day it is, that can turn into a nightmare. Well, not really, but hey. So now what we're going to do is what we want to happen when we're viewing the desktop, we want the header padding, because remember, we're defaulting to a mobile phone. So when we detect that we're on the desktop, we're going to set the header padding to 2%. So here's what we're going to do. Padding 2%. Okay, and semicolon. Now that should complete step 10. Then we're going to go on to step 11 here. And let's go ahead and get back to our book. Step 11 is we want this to be a desktop viewport style rules for the nav area. So this is going to be style rules for the nav area. So it's going to be kind of like what we did up above. We're going to have a nav list item padding, And looks like a hover is coming up here soon. So let's go ahead and get into the code for this. And what we want is our comment. Oh, I ruined my rule. Control Z, Control Z. Thank you. Okay, here we go. There, Control V. There. All right. You know what? We can just grab this from up above. Nav li. I think we want a nav li element somehow in here. So let's just grab this part. What did the instructions say? I think the instructions say add a style rule for the nav li a selector. Oh, top, bottom, and left and right padding. It looks like we want... Oh, we can just copy that. We already got it. We just grab this whole thing. Okay, let's bring that down. Put that here. And they want different numbers for it. If I remember right, we want 0.5 for, well, let's look at the instructions again because I've already forgotten. 0.5 for top and bottom, 1.5 for left and right. Okay. So this is going to be 0.5, 0.5, and then 1.5. Did I do that wrong? 0.5 for top and bottom, and 1.5 for left and right. That makes sense because left and right would have a bigger size. 0.5 for top and bottom. Okay. And then add another style rule for the nav li selector that sets the color to the background, but it uses the hover pseudo cross. So this means when the mouse hovers over it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into there. We can just copy paste this, but then add the pseudo class for when the mouse hovers over it. We want to change the behavior of the style sheet so that the list item has a different background color, it looks like. So let's grab that. Now to add the pseudo element for hover, we're going to do the colon and then hover here. Oh, no, that's a Control Z. We don't want that. So the autofill wants to change that for me. All right. Now let's look at this and let's make sure that we've got something that looks decent. For some reason, okay, because it's empty, that's fine. It looks like nav li a colon hover. Okay, now we just need to set the color to 0 or to a hex of 373,684. It's already in there. Okay, and then a background color to E5, E9, F, because we've already typed those in, so the IntelliSense is working for us. Okay, oh, I forgot a semicolon in both of those. Okay, that is done. Now let's go on to step 12 here. That's going to be, it looks like we're going to be dealing with the nav area style rules here. Let's look at step 12. So we're still within our media query for the desktop. Let's grab this guy because we're gonna put that into our comments. Okay, and then it looks like we're gonna add a style rule for the identifier info. the info element unlisted item selector that sets the left margin to 5%. And then it looks like we do a main H3 selector from within our main tag to set the font size to 1.5 em. And then it looks like we're using piano, guitar, and violin selectors. Now, if I remember right, I changed those. I changed the code of mine from that. So I'm gonna write it in for you, and then I'm gonna change it for me. I may have used the same ones. We'll find out. So that's part C there. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay. So we want to select the identifier or element info, an unlisted item in info. If I remember right, we want the margin left to be 5%. Okay, and that is info. Oh, autofill messed me up here. Info UL. Okay. Info UL margin left 5%. Does that say margin left 5%? Margin left 5%. We're good. Okay, then we're going main H3 selector. So we're going to go to the main H3 selector. So we're going to add in here. Oh, we don't want a semicolon there. Okay, now we got the main predefined element or div. And we want an H3, so whenever we have a heading of an H3 heading, we want to set the font size to 1.5. Now when we get done with this, we're going to be testing both environments within Chrome. I'm going to show you where we can test it. I think I've already shown you in other desktops, but I'll be showing that to you when we get there and after I check for errors and everything. So now I think info unlisted item margin left. That looks good. I'm wondering why we got an error here. Oh, get rid of the colon there, guys. That's an error. Typical. All right. So now let's go ahead and do the last bit. Let's see what we got here. We want piano, guitar, violin. On the left, we want to float to the left. We want to we want to set the width to 29%, float to the left. And then we want a margin, a left-right margin of 0 and 2%. So we can say margin left is 0%, or we can say margin right is 2%, or we can just put margin : 0 space 2%. So we can do this two different ways. I'll show you both ways actually. So let's go ahead and go in here, and this is where we're going to use the identifier guitar or piano, and guitar goes under this, and violin goes under this. Okay. Now, what we want is its width. We want to set the width to 29%. And then we've got, it looks like Width, 29%. We want to float to the left. Okay. Float to the left. And then I remember this one being margin. Oh, I got to do semicolon up here. Margin, margin left, margin. We can do margin left like this is 0%, like this. And then we can do margin right is 2%. That we could do. Oh, I forgot the colons. Probably would have autofilled. Or we could just do this. We could just do margin. We can do a little shorthand here. We can say margin and pass it 2 arguments. Margin 0 space 2%. And that'll do the same thing. And we leave out the other ones, so it means it won't mess with those. Okay. That's good for piano guitar. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a save all. I'm going to go look at, I believe this is for the regions. I think it's the web page where we have the piano guitar. Let me get back to the website that we were doing. There he is. Okay, so let's look for, I don't think it's in rentals. Okay, no, it's not in rentals. It might have been in lessons. I think it was lessons that we did those guys. I think it was lessons. No, that's like the different lessons. Oh wait, yeah, it was. So yours was, so you guys, we gave it the idea, yours would have been piano, guitar, mine is behavior, agility, and frisbee. So I'm going to modify mine, but yours will be different. So let's go ahead and, so behavior, agility, and frisbee. Okay. Behavior, agility, and frisbee. So I'm going to change this to behavior, agility, and frisbee. Now, did I spell that right? Yes. I spelled everything right. Okay. That takes care of step 12. We're now going to be on step 13, and this is where we're going to put in, well, let's go look at it real quick. Step 13. Step 13, below the desktop media query, add a new comment with the text, media query print. Okay, let's do that. Copy. That's before, that's not within, it's below it. So we're going to go ahead and go below that and enter in our comment block and fill in between. Okay, good practice, guys. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is, it looks like we're going to set the background color of the text and the background of the background so that the text is black and the background is white, I believe, so that it's easier to print the web pages when you're in print mode. So that's when you hit print of the web page. You go to File, Print in Chrome or whatever browser you're using. So this is just to make your website print better with its text. So let's look at step 12, or no, we're on step 14. Oh, below the comment, add a new media query that targets print. Okay, so this is going to be a media query, but just for print, nothing special like, you know, hey, is this a screen that's within 550 pixels? So like up here, we are doing the screen is within or below 700 or greater than 769 pixels. Here we're doing, hey, the screen is bigger than, or has a minimum width of 550 pixels. Basically, hey, tablet versus desktop. But this one is just for printing. It's not for the screen size or anything. This is specifically for when somebody goes to print the page, just to make it print happy. And so what we'll do is we'll omit the other arguments and only put in this query as a media query, but only for the print. Oh, silly fill in. Come on, no, I don't want that. No. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's the print. All right. And then this is going to tell us what to do next. Let's see. I think it's going to be like changing the body. Yeah, there we go. Body selector. So we're going to use the body selector. Now remember, the body is not done with the pound sign. It's a predetermined element. So we can just grab it with the keyword body with CSS. So what we'll do is we'll just say body here. And I think body, okay, come on, don't do your automatic fill-in, silly thing. It looks like it still wants to do that. Body, and then let's see what we want for the background color and the color. Background color to FFF, hexadecimal, color, font color to 00, which is, I believe, is black. Because remember, lack of color is black. All colors is white, which would be all Fs, I believe. So we want this one for the background, which is white, all colors. And then no colors, all zeros for the text. So that's why we're saying color. So this is going to be for background. Background color. Oh, thank you, autofill. You work like I want you to. We can do white here, or we can just do hexadecimal FFF. That's white as well, meaning it just assigns it to all the colors. And then the color, this is going to be of the font. We can do black here. In fact, we'll just do that because, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you use the black keyword or not. Let's go ahead and do the hexadecimal because whatever. All right, because that's in the instructions. All right, file, save all. All right, good, guys. I'm going to take a quick break. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check for errors and make sure that we did everything right. And then when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to test this out. We're going to test this out in Chrome using the different, using the emulators for us. So I'll be back shortly, guys, and then we only have a couple more minutes in this video. See you soon. All right, we're back. Guess what? We have no errors. So everything's good here. Let's go ahead and do a quick overview for the desktop portal. We got the header, the nav list item, the nav list item hover over a link. This is for list items that are hyperlinks, guys. That's what the A is for. And then we have our unlisted item in the info tags, our main font size, and then we have our different particularly named elements with the behavior ID, agility ID, and frisbee ID with a width, float, and margin level for a desktop. So now we'll test the print too. Now it's time to test. So I'm going to go up here to File, Save All. Oh, we already saved all. So we're good. Let's go ahead and minimize that. We're going to bring up the browser, and I'm going to go ahead and start up the index. Oh, duh. I've got it so it loads this up. All right, we've got to do open with. Open with, and we're going to use Chrome for this. Chrome has a really good emulator. Okay, so I'm going to click Home, Lessons, Contact Us, Lessons, Contact Us. So there's our Contact Us, and then here's our Lessons. Okay, Lessons looks like it worked pretty good. Contact Us, I'm not really liking the way the map is done there, but hey, maybe that's purposeful. I'm not liking that either. But again, that might be purposeful. For some reason, they're having us put that in. I checked that, and it's correct from what we're supposed to have. So now let's go ahead and look at it for the. We're going to go to More Tools. So you go up to. We're going to emulate it. So we're going to go up to more to these three dots. I call them the ellipse. And then we're going to go to More Tools, Developer Tools. Okay, and I think, yeah, right up here. So we can look at the code, and we can look at things that aren't working properly. Here in our CSS, this is how you would debug your CSS. So you can see here that this is be strike through. So this is not actually taking effect here. This one is. So we got different things that we can look at here, and our styles for this particular page we can look at. Then we can switch to the next page, which is home, and look at that and see that our margins, all kinds of different things that we can look at and make sure our CSS is behaving appropriately. If you guys find something that's not behaving appropriately, let me know, and then I can do an addendum or something like that. And then we can, of course, we can view the code. So we can move this down. Not only can we view the CSS and different elements in the CSS, highlight it, but we can view the code as well to kind of see, hey, how does that match with the CSS? But up here, you see this little box up here. This is the emulator. So we can click on that. We can see that, hey, this looks really good. Look at how it's doing the top down like it should. We click on home. This is doing good. We click on lessons. Good. We do contact us, and the map is showing up well. And it looks like that phone number thing, it looks like we got some more things to do on the desktop site. So now let's choose a different emulator. It looks like, to me, we can select the different things over here. So let's try an iPhone SE. Okay, that's as we expected it. That's how we expected it. Let's choose a tablet because that's what we should be actually really looking at. These are all phones. Would I have something different here? iPad mini. That's a tablet. There we go. There's our tablet. That looks good. I like that. That's not bad. Okay, home. Okay. Contact us. Still got something going on here with this phone number. We may find a change for that, and what's actually going on there. I think what's actually going on there is if we look at the code for that, we look at the code for that telephone, and you see how it's kind of bringing me to the element. It's highlighting the element. So I know that's in the div ID. And right here is the P tab desk. So this is the paragraph tab desk, class tab desk. You know, no, that's, I'm looking at the code and that's the way it's supposed to be. Let's break this down a little bit. No, that's the way it's supposed to be, as far as I can tell. Oh, hold on. No, this mobile should be in the CSS. It should be just class tell link. No, mobile is in there. Excuse me, I was wrong. It is correct. We did it right. Oh, and when I say we, I use that term loosely. I think everything's in order there, except for, oh, that might be one of the reasons. These are supposed to be in their own P's. They're supposed to be in the same, they're supposed to be in their own P class for paragraph class. So let's go modify that real quick. That looks like that's probably the only last little bit of error. And let's see if it changes a little bit. So that's the contact us. No, it is in its own P. Why is it not seeing that? No, okay. It does close. It starts the A. Okay, let's just take this from the top. Let's throw in what I know is supposed to be in here. And I think we can just overwrite these guys, these lines. Okay, this is, I don't think there's a change here. Yeah, we had the class over here, but that shouldn't matter. Oh yeah, that's where it was. I think I had the class outside of the email link. Let's look. Control Z. Control Z. Yep. The class should have been in the hyperlink, the A tag here, and it wasn't. So that's another error that we found. That's good. Okay, great. We found some errors. So this is actually how it should look. Let me give you a full view here, so that you can screenshot it or whatever. I'm gonna crawl over here real quick, but this is kind of how it should look. And I think everything else looks good. All right, let's do a save all. And then what we can do is we can just kind of do a refresh over here. Okay, but let's take it to the desktop. So let's just close this down. And let's do a refresh. Okay, so it looks like they want it to look like that on the desktop, but they want it to be the other way when we go to the mobile. So let's go ahead and go back to the mobile. Okay, up here, let's choose the iPhone. And okay, see the phone number comes up different. Okay. All right, guys. It looks like we've got it all switching back and forth appropriately, and we're good to go and move on to our next next installment of responsive web pages with yours truly. I, you, we, me. All right. I'll see you guys later. Take care. And I will upload this so you have the code. Bye-bye.